We are back with more of My Southern Home, and I'm here with Tim Finlan with the Clean Air Co. And thanks for joining us today.
Well, good morning, Kimberly, and welcome to Berry Farms.
I'm so excited to have your company on the show, Tim, because I love that you offer 3 different solutions to get rid of mold in a home and to make these homes safe for the owners.
And Kimberly, 15 years ago, this was all brand new to me also. And we were introduced through suppliers to harsh chemicals like chlorides and stuff. But finally, after a few years of doing that, and literally ended up in the ER with one of my guys one night with chemical burns on a lot of his body, even though he had proper PPP on equipment. I was like, that's it, we're done, we ain't doing that anymore. So that's when I started to research for other avenues.
And so what are those avenues that you offer?
We offer 3. The first is the most basic. It's called BioEsk. You can almost drink the product. Its main ingredients is thyme oil, so it's very safe. It's used a lot in houses, even on cooking surfaces or your counters and everything. So it's a very safe process. The second is a little bit more harsh. It's peroxide. But we only use peroxide to draw that staining out of the wood. So when you get that house that the mold is so in depth that it stained it, then we need something to draw it out. And the third is our most favorite. We've been using that the longest, is soda blasting. And that's where we use a commercial grade baking soda. Now that baking soda is like a little pellet. It comes out of a hose at 120 PSI. Now you got to think about mold as like a dandelion. So someone goes in there and they start spraying chemicals or they start brushing it, it's a live living organism and it's telling its like spores to go, get out of here, go save yourself. Well, when that soda, that pellet hits that little spore as it's being spread out, it blows that spore to pieces. Or all that little spore is just looking for some place to rest and start growing again. So that baking soda hits that and blows it to pieces, so it's no longer a living organism. And then also, over the time, crawl spaces got ductwork, piping, nails sticking through the floor. You know, there's just no proper way to get a brush into a lot of these areas to knock this heavy mold off. Soda blasting is going to get everywhere. It's going to get back in the little nooks and crannies. So, and it reveals damaged wood too that might look all right to the naked eye. So you go in there and you look at that beam and says, yeah, it's kind of swollen, but it's probably okay. Well, that soda blaster will actually take all that dead wood off there. So then we'll know that, okay, we need to come in and sister this beam also while we're here.
Well, what an amazing process. And this basically eliminates any future problem that you could have unless there's another type of water loss, correct?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say eliminates, because if you don't condition your crawl space, which means it means to control the humidity in that crawl space. So we want to keep that wood moisture under 10%. Wood mold grows at 16% on the wood, or even the humidity in the air, we want to keep it under 70% because that's where molds grows. So if you're not going to put a dehumidifier down there, a good vapor barrier to keep the moisture coming up from the ground, seal vents, make it like part of your living space, mold will come back.
And so that's why working with Clean Air Co. is a multi-step process, and you provide all of that in your consultation once you find the problem.
Yes, and then we follow up. We also offer our customers a reasonable service plan to have us come back every 6 months to make sure the dehumidifier is working. Make sure you don't have a water leak, a sewage leak under there. Make sure that you don't have, animal intrusion. So we'll come back and we'll do a visual test every 6 months. We'll clean the dehumidifier, replace the filter, clean out the condensate to make sure that dehumidifier is going to continue to operate the way it was built.
Well, and that's such an important service for homeowners to have, because the crawl space is a space that you just don't even think about. You know, it's not, you have no reason to go down there.
Think about or even want to think about it.
That's true.
Most people are like, No, I am not going down there. I'm not going into my crawl space. Even though the ones that have been pleasantly surprised that have gone down with us afterwards is like, this ain't that bad now. I wouldn't mind coming down here.
And crawl spaces have changed a lot over the years. You're helping homeowners with storage solutions in them as well.
Oh yeah, we've cut in larger doors for them. We've put down matting underneath. We've put lights in there. So literally that space that was just a wasted space prior, now you can empty your garage out, empty the attic out, not keep stuff in a 180-degree attic. As long as it's in a good plastic tote is only my requirement for the customers.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking with you again.
We'll be back with more My Southern Home in just a moment.